Looking back, it all started that one rainy afternoon in Willow Creek, this little suburb outside Austin where I'd moved after my divorce. Thought it'd be a fresh start. Quiet streets, friendly neighbors, the whole American dream package. But man, was I wrong. Right off the bat, I felt this pull deep in my gut, like some higher power was whispering that I wasn't just here to mow my lawn and pay bills. I was meant for something bigger, like turning my overgrown backyard into a community garden for folks who needed it, kids without playgrounds, families struggling like I had. And that's when the trouble kicked in, because the HOA president, this woman named Rita, she had her eyes on that land for years. Turns out her brother owned a development firm, and they wanted to flip it into condos for quick cash. So when I started planting seeds instead of signing papers, she came at me like a storm, rallying the neighbors with whispers about how I was ruining property values and attracting the wrong crowd. All because her greed was tied up in that deal, and my refusal hit her where it hurt, right in the wallet and her ego. I remember the first confrontation like it was yesterday. We're at the monthly HOA meeting in the community center, that stuffy room smelling like old coffee and tension, and Rita stands up, points her manicured finger at me, says, "Mike, you're new here, so maybe you don't get it. But this isn't some hippie commune. We've got rules, and your little project is a violation. It's devaluing our homes, and if you don't stop, we'll fine you into the ground." Her voice was sharp, dripping with that fake politeness, but I could see the fire in her eyes, the way she glanced at her cronies for nods, like she was queen of this tiny kingdom built on petty power plays and old grudges. Turns out, she'd lost a similar deal years back when her ex-husband sold family land behind her back. So now she manipulated every rule to control what she could. And I was just the latest threat to her fragile empire. I sat there, heart pounding, feeling exposed, like all my doubts were bubbling up. Why now? When I'd already lost so much, my marriage crumbling because I was too wrapped up in my own head, ignoring the signs that things were falling apart. But something inside wouldn't let me back down, even as the room murmured agreements, and I muttered back, "Rita, this isn't about rules. It's about people, kids who need a place to play, not more empty condos for your brother's pocket." And she shot back with a smirk. "Oh, honey, save the sermon. You'll learn soon enough that ideals don't pay the bills." Leaving me walking out into the rain, chains of frustration weighing me down, wondering if this calling was just my imagination playing tricks after too many lonely nights. As the weeks dragged on, those invisible chains felt heavier. Sleepless nights staring at the ceiling, whispering prayers that seemed to echo back unanswered, while Rita ramped up her attacks, slapping me with violation notices for every weed in my yard, even rallying a petition to force a sale. Her motives clear as day now, fueled by that old bitterness and a hunger for control that blinded her to anything but her own gain. I'd bump into neighbors at the grocery store, folks like old Mr. Jenkins, who'd nod sympathetically but say, "Mike, she's got the board in her pocket, best to lay low." And I'd feel that isolation creeping in, like I was carrying this burden alone, scars from past failures reopening, reminding me how I'd let my ex down by not fighting harder for us. But then, in the quiet, those moments when the world hushed, and I felt this warmth, like an unseen hand steadying, May started seeing signs, subtle at first, a random Bible verse popping up on my phone about being strong and courageous, or a kid from down the street stopping by, eyes wide, asking if he could help plant, and it hit me. This wasn't just my fight. It was preparation, turning my pain into something unbreakable. I dug deeper, researching HOA loopholes late at night, and one evening, I confronted Rita again, this time at her doorstep, rain pouring, thunder rumbling like some movie scene, and I said, calm but firm, "Rita, I know about your brother's deal, how you're twisting rules to line your pockets, but this land, it's for the community, not your grudge. Drop the petitions, or I'll go public with the emails I found." And her face twisted, voice hissing, "You think you're some hero? You'll regret this, people like you always do." But there was a crack in her armor, that miffed hesitation, and I walked away feeling a shift, like light piercing through the storm, my doubts crumbling as courage bubbled up, unexpected allies emerging, like Jenkins offering to testify about her manipulations, born from his own quiet resentment after she'd blocked his fence repair years ago. The turning point came faster than I expected. Acceleration. like everything I'd endured was fuel igniting at once. I filed a formal complaint with the state, backed by neighbors who'd finally seen through Rita's facade. Her power plays exposed in a tense board meeting where I stood up, voice steady now, laying out the evidence. This isn't about gardens or rules, it's about greed. Rita using her position to push a personal agenda, manipulating us all because she can't let go of her past losses. And the room erupted, her allies faltering as Jenkins chimed in. She's right, Mike. I've seen it time for change. And Rita, cornered, snapped back with venom. You ungrateful lot. Without me, this place would fall a partial C. But it was too late, her empire crumbling as votes swung my way. The HOA dissolving her presidency in a vote that felt like sweet justice. The look on her face priceless, a mix of shock and defeat as she stormed out, muttering threats that fizzled into nothing. In the end, the garden bloomed, kids laughing, families gathering, my scars now stories shared around picnic tables, proof that what broke me once made me stronger, anointed almost, to lead this little transformation. But here's the thing that still nags at me. Was Rita the real villain, or just another broken soul lashing out from her own wounds? Her manipulations a cry for control in a world that had taken so much from her? It makes you wonder about justice in these tight-knit communities. Does exposing someone like that heal the divide, or just deepen the rifts, leaving folks whispering sides even now? What do you think? Was I right to fight back that hard, or should I have tried harder to understand her side? Drop a comment below. Share your take on community conflicts like this. Who's really at fault when power and personal grudges collide? Or if you've got a similar story from your neighborhood, let's chat about it, because these things happen everywhere, and maybe together we can figure out where true justice lies.